Hello everyone, and welcome back to a new video on the ASMR channel. And today is a special day, this is a special video, as I will be reading a prologue, or the intro, to my book. And, no, my book is not published. This is just something I've been working on as a hobby. Every so often, I haven't been diligently writing every day or every week or even every month, maybe even not even every year. And I've been working on this for a while, and I've just been really judgmental of it and been editing it like crazy. So I do like the prologue. I haven't really edited it that much, but I hope you guys like it, and let's get started. It all began, or should I say, it all ended on the night the stars were falling. Miles from home, I sat alone on the forest ground. I gently rubbed my cheek in anger. My parents were probably in a frantic state, not knowing where I was. But I didn't want to show the bruises. Another phone call from my dad to Mr. Snyder, the elementary school principal, would only be harder for me in the long run. I wanted to be alone, so I sat there on the cool ground, waving my hand over the soft blades of grass. A breeze swept through the pines and maples as the leaves roared in unison. Then there was the deep blue and ebony sky that had a cluster of... That's when I realized it. Looking up at the night sky, 30 to 50 stars were descending from the heavens. A few more minutes and I thought the world would end in an immense explosion. Minutes later, a vicious sound struck the night, like a sound barrier being broken 10 times over. As I watched the fiery light descend from the sky into the fluffy gray clouds and down to the tallest limb on the tallest tree, I realized they all began to fade until there was nothing. More and more repeated the same action, with me now standing up and circling to see all the stars miraculously disappear. After all were lost, a slow and deep thunder shook the forest, as if the night was agitated. Moments later, the sound of cannons went off, continuously, some close and others far away. I had to cover my ears till it was over. The land beneath me began to violently tremble. After the sound ceased, it was hauntingly quiet. The breeze from before paused and the trees remained still. All was silent, while I stared up, half expecting to see more stars fall. Wasn't I supposed to make a wish? Or was a falling star a bit different from a shooting star? A little after that, I started to hear the horrible whispers. They were soft and untraceable, each one racing beside my ear like lost spirits swarming around me. In that moment, I felt watched and studied, warned and frightened. The voices were unintelligible, but they certainly did not sound pleasing. In fact, they were empowering and somehow very threatening. It was like a bad feeling multiplied, an invisible force that was trying to make me run, to fear, to fight. My heart was racing. I was terrified. And so I ran, jumping over dead logs and whipping away freshly dead branches. I began to notice the scorched earth. Plants, grass, and trees withered away, turning shades of a cold blue or sickly yellow. Everything was coarse and contorted. The air was thick like a gaseous sawdust lingering below the tree lines. The farther I went through the woods that I no longer recognized, I also realized that I was heading towards a lifeless area. The closer I approached, the more everything was worse. The trees were stripped of leaves and pines, leaving a charred and brittle trunk behind. The once grassy floor was now replaced with burnt soil, stripped of any plants or vegetation. The air around me was unbreathable. Heat radiated in front of me as I came to a stop. Nothing was visible, but some of the night, when I looked, nothing was visible, but some of the night sky when I looked up and saw a couple of bright stars. Thankfully, they remained where they were. Then a noise startled me. The sound was a disgruntled voice, perhaps a man. Piecing things together, I began to think that someone was struck by lightning. No, don't be an idiot, Hayden. It would explain why this area was vaporized and why I might hear a person. However, it didn't explain the falling stars, the whispers, or the cannon shots. And if there was a man struck by lightning, he certainly wouldn't be alive to make any noise at all. I'd imagine him being all but a pile of bones. But all my doubts soon faded once a dark masculine voice said, "Who's there?" The voice made me shudder, and my spine began to violently rattle. I was too scared to talk, or run, or to even breathe. Scared wasn't the right word. A certain cold and hopeless feeling came through the searing heat. Tears began to run down my cheeks, and my legs felt numb. "Please." Once the frail word left my parched lips, something shook in the air. I regretted saying anything at all, but I hated the long silence. Through the smoldering fog, I heard bones cracking, or maybe it was just branches snapping. Either way, I couldn't make sense of it. I was just scared and oddly cold. Human, male, very young. The man growled the words with a pause in between. I found the courage and the strength to slowly back away. Whoever or whatever was in front of me began to rise as its lungs filled with air. As the smoke began to slowly clear, all I saw was a tall, dark figure. "I know I'm not supposed to," the mysterious figure spoke in its dark, gargled voice. More sounds of bones cracking, with the figure contorting. And twisting in abnormal ways continued. It was rising more, growing, evolving. But now, I have nothing to lose. With that, the dark shape turned towards me. Where I expect to see a head, a diffused, glowing sulfuric light pierced through the smoke and directly at me. The beast grunted in anticipation. I turned and sprinted off as fast as I could possibly go. I winced and clawed my way through the jagged branches and sharp pines, but heard the horrific dark laughter behind me. The beast was effortlessly catching up with me, and I could hear its large lungs inhaling and exhaling. Hungry for a night snack. I then ran into another area much like the last, where another large being stood and stretched. There was hollering and laughter in the distance as well, Now the hungry beast chasing after me was a few seconds away. Running only gathered the intention of more nightmarish beings. Crying out in terror, I was soon thrown to the air by an invisible force. My right arm is what saved me from my head splitting open on a tree. No doubt my arm was crushed. I screamed out as the many sounds and dark, hungry figures surrounded me. Something cold took me by the legs as I lifted off the ground, now upside down. Instead of seeing horrific faces, I saw a cluster of obsidian smoke that looked like it was trying to form into something. I heard whispering, but not the same as before. This was evil, and there was no doubt about it. The hate, anger, sorrow, jealousy, greed, desire, and so much more radiated from these sinister beings. Slowly I realized the glowing eyes are red, green, yellow, dark purple, and even white. Each one directed their attention to me, lighting my face like I was in the spotlight. I screamed multiple times, some in pain, most in fear, and then looking up to see what was holding me, I saw that there was nothing there. I squirmed to try and get free, but there was no hope left. The invisible hold of my legs was much too strong for me to get out of. Even then, where would I run to? A familiar figure approached the front as the smoke divided to make way. The whispers quickly silenced. It was the first one I ran into. This demon was the only one fully formed, and the most terrifying, with yellow fangs, a sunken skeletal nose, and it was the first one I ran into. This demon was the only one fully formed and the most terrifying, with yellow fangs, a sunken skeletal nose, dark charcoal fur, a gauntlet face structure, its large sulfuric eyes, where I can now see a small black pupil in the middle, and a long muscular body. It was harder to tell more of these features while hanging upside down. "Brother, we mustn't kill this swine," something unseen spat. "Michael cannot interfere with us now," the formed demon said happily as the lightning struck the sky. The smoke and glowing eyes seemed to be unsettled and whirled faster, like it was scared. But the beast in front of me did not flinch. "You will bring war?" another unformed demon questioned. "And what of the prophecy? What of the child?" another asked. "Silence," the main demon raged. "It is impossible to tell what child will be chosen. However," the beast looked at me and seemed to grimace. He wouldn't be so bold to end the world over one mortal. The figure lifted its large hand to my face. "And why should we take a chance at this filth being chosen? He is a child, after all." Nervous laughs and more lightning filled the night as the demon's hand covered my vision as I screamed one last time before all went dark. That was the very night I died. The night where my parents would be visited by an entity, an angel. The night where angels were divided, new rules were written, and the heavens outroared. the night where the prophecy was set into place. So begins my story, and the terrible burden, the terrible curse laid upon me. That night, I was reborn. Thank you guys for tuning in today. Also, I would like to say that I am going to get a social media. I'm deciding between Twitter and Instagram. Probably more so going towards Twitter, just because with Instagram it's only pictures, of course, and with Twitter I can put out that I'm uploading a video tonight and I don't have to put a picture to it. So I'm thinking more towards Twitter, but I don't have much time on my hands, so I will probably do that by next week or so. And I'm not really even sure what I'm going to post on it, so it's gonna be like an experiment, really, because I know one person on my channel, Mr. Explorer 80, and there was another one that asked today if I had an Instagram or something, and I'm sorry I don't know your name, but I'm probably going to lead more towards Twitter, just so I can write out stuff and say that I'm uploading a day, or that I'm feeling under the weather like I am currently, but I'm making a video right now, and I can't do it, but or put them behind the scenes things. I don't know. Again, I'm not doing this for any other purposes but making myself have busy work instead of just fooling around all the time. So this is more so just for me to relax and make videos, and if my voice puts anyone to sleep or relaxes them or helps them study or entertains them, I don't know, whatever my voice does or whatever I do on my channel, if it helps in any way, I'm very glad. But I'm not doing this for any other reason but to make myself have busy work, because once you have school, you start to I start to worry about it. So this is really just a way to get away from that stuff and feel like you're doing something, compared to just playing video games or doing other stuff. I actually am in the process of storyboarding a idea for my other channel, which I don't think I'm gonna say, because I really do want to remain anonymous, and I don't want my friends to realize that I make this content, because they think it's kind of weird. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you very much for tuning in. Catchphrase. And I hope you have a great night, day, or wherever or whatever you are. I'm obviously tired because I can't end this video, so I'll just say goodbye. Goodbye, everyone.